it up, swashbucklers! You're listening to Under the Crossbones, episode number 189. My name is Phil Johnson. I'm your host for the show and the ship's forensic botanist each and every week here for you. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for telling your friends, visiting sponsors, sending donations, all the cool stuff that you do. That helps me keep the old boat afloat. I appreciate it. Here we are in episode number 189. Fun fact about the number 189. In the year 189, there was a plague. They think it was smallpox. That was killing as many as 2,000 people per day in Rome. The farmers were unable to harvest their crops, and food shortages were causing riots in the city. And that's what happens when you take medical advice from Jenny McCarthy. So, my guest on the show today is Randy Gnatowski, a.k.a. Constable Heartless of Blackbeard's Crew Incorporated. They are a nonprofit dealing in 18th century historical reenactment. They are a big part of the Hampton Blackbeard Festival, and they have their own ship, a something close to what would have been Blackbeard's ship, the Adventure. And so it's a ship that they've rebuilt, and they reenact pirates Blackbeard's final battle there just off the coast of Virginia. And so it's good stuff, good stuff. And so we're going to hear from him in just a moment. We're going to talk with Randy. It's a fun interview. You're going to dig it. I'm trying a new editing service this week. So here's what happens normally. The show comes out Tuesday morning, right? You know that. Monday, I spend most of Monday finishing the show. And a huge chunk of that time is editing the interview to tighten it up and just make sure it is a nice flowing conversation that doesn't deal with any of the VoIP issues or crackling or sound weird, whatever. And so it takes me like 2 hours to edit a half-hour interview. And so I have outsourced that portion of the work to a company that I'm trying out this month to see to have them edit the interview portion. I'm still doing everything else on my own right now. And so if it sounds different, maybe it could be the editing, but let me know if you like it, if you don't like it, whatever it is. If you don't notice a difference, even better. Hoping you don't notice a difference, and or it's better. Better would be good. So anyway, now I got to figure out what I'm going to do with those extra 2 hours on Mondays. I know what I did today. I wrote comedy. I wrote jokes. That's what I did. I wrote songs. I did that. But it's going to be something else that I'm going to put in those 2 hours here soon. I don't know what it is. Could be just eating. I like to do that. Could be just eating. If you're enjoying the show, come join us over on Facebook. We're at facebook.com/underthecrossbones. On Twitter, we're at undercrossbones, And of course, make sure you click that subscribe button in whatever you're listening to this podcast on right now. Click the subscribe button, and that'll make sure that you get the new episodes every Tuesday as soon as they drop. And that's the best way to do it, because then you have it right there. So when you got 5 minutes to listen, you can listen a little bit. When you're in the car, give it a little listen. I'm so behind. I'm consistently 2 months behind on my podcast queue on my own phone, but that's okay. I got a little clarification from last week from the Jolly Rogers episode. We're talking about the song "The Derelict." And Disney's use of it. I got a clarification from Mark Stahl about that whole thing. Mark said that their arrangement of The Derelict did not actually appear in any of the Pirates of the Caribbean films. One of the DVD releases for the first movie included a bonus CD of pirate songs, and one of the songs from that CD was a re-recording of their arrangement of The Derelict. So that's the clarification there. There was some miscommunication, mishearing on my part, and some discussion about it last week. So thanks for everybody that chimed in on that, and for letting me know when I make a mistake, and that is okay. Perfectly okay, in fact. So good stuff coming up today. No weird facts that I know of. We'll see. We'll see. I had a great weekend. I did a lot of comedy over the weekend. I played Friday night. I played in Marysville, California, where it's a place I've driven through, never stopped before, but I played at the Silver Dollar Saloon, which is a saloon. It's one of the oldest saloons in the state, I guess. It's opened in 1885, and we were playing upstairs in what used to be the brothel. Yeah, so we were upstairs playing in the brothel, and our green room for the show was the Madam's Room, and they had it like all decorated 1800s style, and they still had the names of the girls on the door with a little picture of them, so that was interesting. So we go into this the Madam's Room, the green room, And I've got my guitar case and my merchandise bag and this kind of stuff. And I just kind of set it down on the floor. And the guy that was producing the show came in and he's like, hey, yeah, this was the madam's room. And this used to be a brothel up here. And he goes, in fact, the madam on the door here, which her name was like Diamond Toothed or something. Weird. It was a weird name. But he goes, the madam here, she was actually a lover, a spurned lover came in and stabbed her to death in this room. And it was like, oh, all right, interesting. And he goes, in fact, you can see the blood stain right there on the floor, which is exactly where I had put down my merchandise case. So I was like, well, I think I'll move my merchandise case off the dead hooker blood and put that over there. But it was a really cool, interesting venue. They have like there's a secret tunnel, and it was dialed up 1800s, Old West saloon brothel-y kind of. It was a cool venue. So if you have a chance to stop by the Silver Dollar Saloon in Marysville, California, do that. I think it's an interesting place that you'll dig. And first, this had never happened on stage before. I was on stage, and I did a joke about cake that I have in my act right now. And somebody walked out of the room, came back in, bringing me lemon meringue pie on stage. He was like, "Hey, you mentioned cake. How about some lemon meringue?" And I was like, "All right, cool." Very nice. Now, obviously, I'm not going to stop and eat it. I'm in the middle of a show. I also didn't really have anywhere to put it because all I had up there was a stool, like a bar stool with my glass of water, my set list on it. And so I had to like place the lemon meringue sort of on the floor behind the stool. Hope I didn't manage to step in it, during the show at some point. And then I ate lemon meringue after the show. And it was tasty. It was tasty. But that is a first. Nobody has brought me dessert on stage before. I encourage bringing me dessert. I don't have a problem with that, but bring it to me after the show. It was interesting. But more shows this week. Shows last week were all super great. This week on May 8th, I'll be at the Slate Bar in San Francisco, California. On May 17th, I'll be at Johnny's Bar and Grill in Hollister, California. May 24th, I'll be at Bay Bridge Brewing in Chula Vista, California. On the 25th, I'll be at the Comedy Palace in San Diego, California. On the 26th, I'll be doing a Navy SEAL Foundation benefit in Lakewood, California. That is open to the public, and you can check out the tour dates page for more information on getting tickets for that. And then on May 27th, I'll be at the Mannheim Social Club in Brentwood, California. A lot of driving this month, all up and down the coast. It's going to be fun. And of course, you can get all the information for those shows. Go to underthecrossbones.com, click on the tour dates button, and all the information will be right there. We're sponsored today by Captain Mucklepup's Jolly Roger Emporium. Is your Jolly Roger not feeling so jolly? When you raise your flag against an enemy ship, do they raise their own flag that just says whatever? Then you need yourself a new Jolly Roger, something that communicates the fierce pirate you are. Maybe you need a flag that features bacon and a spatula. Or a funnel cake, perhaps. Maybe you're the crew of the Drunken Parrot, and you need an appropriate ensign for that. Captain Mucklepup's Jolly Roger Emporium can serve up the banner of your fondest dreams. Do you need a flag that says never gonna give you up because you're less interested in destroying your enemies and more interested in rickrolling them? Captain Mucklepup's Jolly Roger Emporium has a complete selection of song lyric flags designed to intimidate and irritate your foes. Just think how fast they'll strike their colors when you raise your flag that says, "Hey, Macarena." Yeah, striking fear into the hardiest of sailors. Absolutely. Captain Mucklepup's Jolly Roger Emporium offers no money-back guarantee because if you get laughed off the ocean, it's your own damn fault. Get your own Jolly Roger now at Captain Mucklepup's Jolly Roger Emporium. Of course, that's not our real sponsor. I made that up. But man, those are fun to do. They are fun. And most of that was inspired by a thread on our Facebook page from last Friday where we were talking about alternative Jolly Rogers. So thanks to John Kierstead and Zachariah Blackshear and Mark Axton and everybody else that played that game with us last week and inspired that little fake ad right there. And if you want, again, we're having fun on the Facebook page. Join us over there, facebook.com/underthecrossbones. And incidentally, if you do need a custom Jolly Roger, talk to Xander Kent at Blackbeard Banners. That's real. He's legit, and he does great work. I figured I should put that in there if I'm going to talk about a fake banner, fake flag place. So anyway, we're actually sponsored today by TeePublic, and TeePublic is super cool. They work with t-shirt artists and to create really super neat t-shirts, and then they put them all together, and when you buy a t-shirt, the artist gets a nice healthy cut, TeePublic gets a little cut, and I get a little cut, and everybody's happy because you got a new pirate t-shirt. Yeah, because I've curated over 100 super awesome pirate t-shirts for you. There's funny ones, there's sexy ones, there's scary ones. They're all there. And I'm willing to bet, I would put money on it, that you need a new pirate t-shirt. Why? Because you're a pirate and we need pirate t-shirts. I got a whole drawer full of them right here. I got a whole dresser full of pirate t-shirts, and I still need more, and you need more. So do this. Go to underthecrossbones.com/shirt. That's underthecrossbones.com/shirt to see all these super cool pirate t-shirts that I have picked out for you from TeePublic. Again, that's underthecrossbones.com/shirt. If you don't want to buy a shirt and you want to support the show in some other way, you can do that too. Go to underthecrossbones.com/support, and right there's a little PayPal box where you can put a donation in there of any amount that you think is appropriate. There's an Amazon banner there. You click that Amazon banner, you go to Amazon, buy yourself something nice. Doesn't cost you anything extra. You buy that package of Star Wars Band-Aids or a new bathtub or a spatula and some bacon and a funnel cake, and you get it all at Amazon right there. And then Amazon kicks me back a few shekels, and that helps me keep the old show going here. So all that is, if you want to be a sponsor even, you can do that. That's all on the same page, underthecrossbones.com/support. Okay, so let's do this. Enough fooling around. Let's get into my interview now with Randy Gnatowski, also known as Constable Heartless of Blackbeard's Crew Incorporated. Dig it. So tell me a little bit about Blackbeard's Crew and what you guys do. I know it's a nonprofit, but what do you guys do?
It's a marvelous family, actually. Dysfunctional, but it's still a family. We're actually a living history entertainment group.
Okay.
We go around to all points of the compass in between gainful employment and bring the maritime history alive for the 18th century mariner. We try to dispel some of the Hollywood myth that they keep coming up with, and we show them what it was really like, and we also do our best to preserve the skills and talents of the 18th century mariner because they're all becoming very lost arts.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. What are some of those skills that you guys are trying to keep alive?
Well, a good example is in the 18th century, if you needed some rope for your ship, you couldn't go down to Walmart, so you had to make it yourself.
Uh-huh.
And so we'll show them how you make rope. 18th century cooking can be a challenge, especially aboard a ship. Wooden ships and fires don't always go together.
Yeah.
But pirates do travel on their tapeworm, so that's a big part of what we do is eat. And time flies when you're having rum. It's amazing how that happens. But we are truly family and children-friendly pirates. We try to let them know what it was like in the 18th century. At the same time, we only go so far as to not to totally cause the little ones to have nightmares.
Right. Yeah, you don't want to do that. And so you guys are doing the pirate festivals, things like that. Are you basically doing an encampment kind of thing and then inviting people in to kind of talk with you and experience things?
The Hampton Blackbeard Pirate Festival is probably the greatest in the country, if not the world.
Uh-huh.
At one time, USA Travel magazine said we were third. We did beat out the Cayman Island event. However, I think we're number one because we do hold true to our belief of being family and children friendly. And we do have a marvelous encampment. This year we'll probably have close to 200 living history interpreters in the encampment. We'll put on displays everything from shipboard medicine to carpentry to simple machines to how to pitch a tent correctly. You name it, if it's part of the maritime experience, it will be within the encampment. We do have other visiting pirate groups that come in and join us, and it's always fun. Hampton has become the family reunion event for the pirates and privateers.
Okay.
So everyone likes to share in that brother and sisterhood that we have. We have sea battles at the Blackbeard Festival. We reenact Blackbeard's last battle off Ocracoke Island. And, of course, Hampton has a tremendous amount of related history. The ships, the Ranger and the Jane, that was given to Lieutenant Maynard. Never did like that guy. They were actually rented in where downtown Hampton today is, in the Hampton River.
Oh, okay.
And after Lieutenant Maynard used trickery and dishonesty to apprehend the pirates and to kill Blackbeard, ultimately the surviving crew members and Blackbeard's head came back to Hampton and was presented to Governor Spotswood. I'm waiting to hear the boos. Normally when I say Spotswood, I hear boos.
The listeners are booing in their cars right now.
And Blackbeard's head was actually placed on a pike and placed at the entrance of the original Hampton River for a warning to would-be pirates. And despite various rumors that the skull might have been used for this, that, or the other, in all likelihood, it just stayed there at the Hampton River until nature took its course, and what was left of the skull and the pike dematerialized and just fell into the water.
Yeah, I'm sure that's it. Yeah. So, how long has the group been around?
Oh, a long time. Blackbeard's crew got its start for the original Opsail 2000. So planning for the group started in mid-1999.
Okay. What is Opsail 2000?
That was some sort of large event where you had tall ships converging onto the U.S. From all parts of the compass, and they went all up and down the eastern seaboard. And
oh, okay.
And it was very nice, but I kind of thought we had done that already back in the 16th and 17th and 1800s. So I wasn't impressed, but I was impressed with the pirates. Matter of fact, that's where I started getting my pirate name. I wasn't officially part of the crew back then. I was sort of they don't call me Constable for nothing. I was working for the police department in Hampton, and I remember one of the big wheels came down and asked me if I was busy, and I told him no, it was just a double homicide. I'm sure we could get around to it later. And he said I had to stop what I was doing, go to a meeting because some guy wanted to talk about having pirates at Opsail. And I thought to myself, I got enough to worry about without pirates. But I went to this meeting and I was amazed at how little I actually knew about Hampton's history. So I was sort of bit by the bug, and I had done a little reenacting in my younger days. So, the group was actually formed, and originally just for that one event, but the pirate angle went over so well that it was decided in 2000 that we would go ahead and have our own pirate festival every year. And it has grown in leaps and bounds. And this is our 20th anniversary event.
Fantastic.
So it's been a good thing. It really highlights not just the pirates and their history and contributions, but how important this region that we are in was to the birth and growth of our country. It's really amazing. And if I was a betting pirate, I would be willing to bet that there's probably more history in Hampton, which was part of the original 8 shires of the New World. Probably more history in Hampton than all of the historical sites in the country combined. It's people just don't talk about it for some reason. It's kind of a shame.
Interesting. So were you a history type of buff before getting into the pirate thing, or was that kind of the trigger that got you in there?
I was always into a little bit of history. Loved the War of Northern Aggression. I thought that was a pretty interesting era. But all aspects of history, the American Revolution was probably my my passion for many years until I became a pirate.
Mm-hmm.
And a little disappointed to learn that most of the history from Colonial Williamsburg actually took place in Hampton.
Oh,
So that made it even better.
how close are the two cities?
Oh, I can go from Hampton to Williamsburg in about less than 30 minutes by land chariot.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, we have the same thing here. I live in San Jose, and San Francisco is 45 minutes from me. So anything that happens always gets attributed to San Francisco.
Oh,
so,
yeah. It's same way. And, we do have a historic triangle. You have within arm's reach Colonial Williamsburg, Jamestown, and Yorktown.
Oh, sure.
And then with Hampton at the tip, just before going to the south side, where you have, I still call it Port Norfolk. They call it a city, but it's, a remarkable area. Fortress Monroe is located in Hampton, and, that is War of 1812 all by itself.
So it starts in 1999 for this 2000 sales celebration, and you're sort of involved at that point. When did you become more fully involved?
Well, I in between murder cases and other things I had going on, I was voluntold to come out and do special events, something that needed a little extra attention. And of course, my bosses knew that I was kind of into history to a certain extent, so it was a natural choice. But I made it work when the pirates wanted something. I went behind the scenes to see if there was any possible way of obtaining it, and never really allowed to come out in real pirate attire. I had to wear one of those funny blue and gray outfits most of the time. But in 2007, I officially retired, so I jumped in full bore from there. I used to tell the pirates if they kept on giving me a hard time when I retired, I was going to become a pirate, and they were going to be sorry.
That's funny.
And then at some point after that, I evidently missed a pirate meeting and got voted in as captain.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, never miss a pirate meeting. It can be interesting if you do.
Yeah, you'll end up with more responsibility. So in an organization like that, what does that title mean?
Well, the captain is the leader of the crew, but also serves as the president of the corporation. We're an incorporated nonprofit. So you have a president who's the captain, vice president who is an events master, secretary who is our scribe, and a treasurer who is our ship's purser.
Okay. So, were you involved with the process of becoming a nonprofit?
Yes, I was. It was actually in 2007 when we decided we really needed to step up our game and start working towards the 501c3 aspect. Even though we were always as much as possible historically accurate, we wanted to emphasize a little more on the educational side and eventually to gain our own historic vessel to sail. And so we managed to do all that. Matter of fact,
that's great.
Last January, we made the decision to officially part companies with any other group that was working towards a vessel and do it on our own. And in 4 months, we found a suitable vessel. We had to repair it. It had been out of the water for years. Had a big hole in the bottom. It's a good reason to keep it out of the water. But
sure,
we fixed it up. We floated it, and we had it there for last year's Blackbeard Pirate Festival in Hampton. So I think we did pretty good. About 5 months in total.
That's great.
Now it's an never-ending process because we still have a lot of renovations and restoration work to do. I got to raise money for its own cannons, which a ship without cannons. There's just something wrong with that.
Sure. Tell me about the restoration process of the ship. What kind of shape was it in when you got it?
Not
besides the hole in the bottom.
Yeah, the hole in the bottom is definitely something that we could have lived without. And a wooden ship being out of the water for years is not a good thing either. It dries out. But I take up about 65 foot of dock space from the bowsprit to the stern. It's it was originally designed as a sloop, and it favors the actual design from 1700 from the Dutch. A fantail was added to it, sail. I forget what they call those. I should know, but I have other people for that. I'm just the captain.
That's right.
Captain don't need to know how everything works as long as it works and somebody does know how to work it.
That's right.
But it's a pretty close match for Blackbeard's true flagship. I call it his true flagship, the Adventure. That's what Blackbeard started his notorious career out on, and that's what he ended up fighting his last battle on from Adventure. So it was appropriate that the name of our ship is now the Adventure.
Sure.
In honor of Blackbeard, and last year was the 300th anniversary of Blackbeard's demise. And I'm hoping my reign as captain lasts many decades longer than Blackbeard's did.
Right.
Actually, I kind of like my neck just the way it is. The Navy people keep wanting to stretch it, but I'm smart. I can get away.
There you go. And so that's the ship that you're doing the reenactment of the last battle on?
Yes. It will be this year for the 20th anniversary. We'll actually use the Adventure portraying the part of the Adventure.
Nice.
So it will be a wonderful sight.
That's very cool. Now, as a former police officer, do you see any irony in now portraying criminals?
No, not really. Actually, just because I retired. Actually, I retired from one agency. Now I work for more than a dozen, doing the same work, just part-time for each one, because for some reason in the Commonwealth of Virginia, most everyone's on the same retirement system. So if I went back to work for any one police department, my retirement would stop. That'd be kind of silly.
Oh, yeah. What kind of police officer were you? I saw the name of it and couldn't pronounce it. And tell me what that's about.
You must be looking at the forensic psychophysiology. Just don't ask me to spell. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I started out in the old days actually walking the beat, just like the old movies, in a little place called downtown Phoebus, which is in Hampton. And went from there to the paddy wagon, to a patrol car, to then unfortunately I started getting promoted, which was not really a fun thing because that gave me more responsibility and took the fun out of the work. The vast majority of my career, I worked in investigations, starting out with property crimes and then with crimes against persons, which is the fun stuff. But the forensics aspect is always part of that, even though we had a forensic unit. But forensic psychophysiology, some people call that polygraph examinations.
Oh, okay.
So that's a fun part of it. Matter of fact, I appreciate liars because in this day and time, I would be broke if there wasn't some out there.
Polygraphs are interesting because now they've shown a lot of ways that you can fudge them, get around them, things like that. What kind of view did you have on them when you were doing them regularly? How accurate were they?
Well, I still do them. I probably manage to do about 60 or 70 every month.
Oh, crazy. Okay.
But, well, you can never actually where the link, the weak link in the chain is with an inexperienced. If you have a young fellow who doesn't have the proper training and experience, then, the examiner's already lost. I have people trying I love the internet because, believe it or not, there's really nothing accurate on the internet when it comes to polygraph. So when people study for their test, I love people to stop. So
okay.
it's a lot of fun.
Huh. Yeah, okay. That's interesting to know that the information that's out there is not correct. So
yeah, and we want to keep it that way.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. That's really interesting.
But I can tell you this, piracy is a lot more fun than police work. And I get cannons and pistol and blunderbuss and play with sharp, pointy things. And I don't have any reports I have to fill out afterwards. So that makes it even better.
Yeah, I'm sure. There's way less paperwork as pirates.
It is. But we do have a remarkable group of individuals that belong to Blackbeard's crew.
Uh-huh.
A very diverse group of people. It's amazing what some of them do in their real lives. And we all come together because we enjoy the history. And, we're all volunteers. None of us with the crew actually gets a salary.
Uh-huh.
Even though we do generate funds under the 501, and everything goes back into the organization.
Okay.
But our paycheck is when we have just groups and groups of, children and seeing the smiles, and you go to explain something to adults and you see their eyes open up wide. It's, when it finally clicks that, the 18th century was a remarkable time of our history. And so that's our paycheck, is when we make the kids happy and we bring reality to even the grown-up aspect, who are also children at heart.
Sure.
The parents and grandparents get into it just like the kids do. And this past Saturday was a prime example. We had the International Child's Fest in Hampton. Children from all over all convened, and since then we became international pirates. We plundered and pillaged all of the countries that were represented. If there was water around it, we plundered and pillaged them. And and it was amazing how the pirates just attracted these children from all of the other things going on. And I'm amazed at how many of the children and adults have to try on our pillory for size.
Oh, really?
We have a set of stocks or a pillory, and everyone loves to put their head and arms through that thing. It's amazing. Makes good photo ops.
Sure. Yeah. And I imagine it's not too uncomfortable for a couple minutes. It's when you're actually in there for a while.
Oh, yeah. And, we never charge anyone to go in and try it on. Coming out is where we ask for the donation.
There you
go. More about our festival. The Friday of the festival, we have the Grand Pirates Bash.
Okay.
That's actually more of, guess you would call it a fairy tale aspect of piracy. We have people coming from all over the community dressed in their more interesting pirate attires. It's sort of a white tie event for pirates, if there is such thing.
Okay.
It used to be called the Grand Pirates Ball, but it was brought to my attention a couple of years ago that pirates simply don't have balls, so they have bashes. So I got to remember we are child friendly.
There you go.
but that's part of the event that is really geared towards the adult, not necessarily the child. And it's a grand time. We have some of the best musical entertainment for the bash, as well as for the festival itself. This year we'll have the Rusty Cutlass coming back from Florida, and we'll have the Brigands coming down from New York. They seem to be festivals sort of their home, or it is now. But we'll have some of the best sea shanties, various groups performing throughout the festival. I have 3 different stages, a children's area for the littlest ones where they can treasure hunt and so forth. We're going to put up a custom house this year down by the water, down by our ship, because since Hampton was the heart of maritime commerce, and that's where you paid all your duties and taxes, then why not have our own custom officer in a custom house collecting the duties, the tariffs, the taxes, the bribes, anything else we can get. So that will be fun. And the entire downtown area, we just sort of take over. And we have street vendors all throughout the entire downtown. And obviously, we close most of the roads from the land chariots because they don't need to be there when we're there.
Sure.
And with our encampment, we take up quite a bit of area. And then for that Saturday night, we have, not only in my opinion, but I think in most opinions who have been to our festival, the grandest fireworks display you ever did see.
Nice.
And I start the fireworks off with a barrage from our shoreline cannon battery.
Okay, cool.
You got to have cannons. Lots of cannons.
Of course. Need some cannons. So what are the most common myths that you have to dispel when people come into the encampment?
Walking the plank is probably one of the big ones. The first time any pirate made somebody walk the plank was, I think it was the first airplane movie where that happened.
Yeah.
You know, when you think about it, if you got a wooden ship, you're going to be out there putting cannonballs through it. If you got a nice solid wooden plank, you're not going to waste it for pomp and circumstance. If you want somebody over the side, you just pick their butt up and throw them over the gunnel, and that's it.
Exactly.
That's it. You know,
yeah.
Of course, we did enjoy a good keel hauling every now and then. That was reality.
So that's great. So when is the festival taking place this year?
The Grand Bash is on May 31st, and the festival itself is June 1st and 2nd.
Fantastic. Great.
And it's a marvelous time.
I'm sure it is. Where's a good place online for people to find out more about the festival and more about what you guys are doing?
Well, you can go to the City of Hampton Parks and Rec web, or you could go to Blackbeard Festival or Hampton Blackbeard Festival Facebook page, or you can go to Blackbeard's Crew Incorporated Facebook page.
Okay.
And, we continuously put the information out, put list of the visiting crews and the entertainment so far, and still getting more entertainment lined up.
Very cool.
There's never a dull moment when you're at the festival, and it's one of those events that it doesn't matter if you're a great-grandchild, grandchild, child, mom, dad, grandparent, or great-grandparent. We have something for everyone at our festival.
Fantastic.
So it's a good family event.
Good. Great. It sounds a whole bunch of
fun. And it's fun. Yeah, it is.
Very cool. Well, thanks, Randy. I appreciate you coming on today.
Okay. Anything I can do to help the cause of spreading piracy is a good thing.
There you go. Cool.
And who would think some of us are actually lucky enough to have a second childhood and become a real live pirate.
And there it is, friends. That is my interview with Randy Gnatowski, Constable Heartless from Blackbeard's Crew Incorporated. And you can find out more about them at blackbeardscrew.org. That is blackbeardscrew.org. Or if you look at that URL the first time, like I did, it says blackbeardscrew.org, which seems like probably a different site, but it's not. It's blackbeardscrew.org. It's a family show. Family show around here. Don't get your mind out of the gutter. So I hope you enjoyed the interview. Did you hear something you liked? Did you hear something you wanted to jump in on, comment on, add to, all that? Come on over to the Facebook page. Jump in the thread for the episode. Facebook.com/underthecrossbones and all the Twitter. And you can find me on Instagram if you're an Instagrammy person. I don't have a podcast one there, but you can find me at Phil Johnson Comedy on Instagram if you like that. All the show notes, of course, for this episode are at underthecrossbones.com/189. We're sponsored today by Pirate Radio, the Treasure Coast, of course. Longtime sponsors, WKKC-DB, playing the best music of today's hits and yesterday's classics, and Pirate Radio Talk, playing the best pirate shows, including Under the Crossbones, all commercial free. How awesome is that? Yeah. To listen, go to pirateradio.thetreasurecoast.com or pick up the Pirate Radio WKKC-DB app in your favorite app store. That's for the music station. For the talk station, go to pirateradiotc.com or pick up the Pirate Radio Talk app in your favorite app store, or you can just ask your Alexa or Google device, and it will play it for you. You know how that works. It's always listening. It's always listening. All brought to you by iTreasure Radio, the very best digital media from independently owned stations at iTreasureRadio.com. I got a free ebook for you. It's Alexander Exquemelin's Pirates of Panama or Buccaneers of America. It's out there under both titles. This is a book that was originally published in 1678. Alexander Exquemelin was a doctor who ended up on pirate ships, wrote about his firsthand accounts, his firsthand adventures on said pirate ships, and put out a book about it. And now I've got a fancy little ebook version of it for you that you can get for free. To get it, go to underthecrossbones.com, click on the free ebook link, and you can get it right there. And that is our show for today. Thank you once again for tuning in. I absolutely appreciate it every single time you do. To find out more about Blackbeard's crew, go to blackbeardscrew.org. And you can find old Captain Randy right over there and find out more about the Hampton Blackbeard Festival and their ship, The Adventure, and all that kind of good stuff, all the good reenactments they're doing over there. We've got some amazing shows coming up. We got fantastic shows coming up for you over the next couple weeks. Next week, we're traveling all the way to Berlin, Germany to talk to the Shipwreck Rats. Yes, pirate music. Yeah. The following week, Trevor Etienne from Pirates of the Caribbean, who you might remember as Kohler from the first Pirates of the Caribbean film. He's going to be on the show. Visited with him in LA for a good hour. That's a fun one. Following the week after that, Rebecca Harris of Silverella. Rebecca is a jeweler out of New York State doing maritime-inspired jewelry that I think you're really going to dig. And the week after that, we're going to talk with Eric Mueller of Pirates Press, which is a vinyl pressing company. In fact, one of the largest vinyl pressing companies in the world. So we're going to be talking some music industry, some punk rock, all sorts of good stuff on that one with a heavy dose of pirates in there. If you have a suggestion for a guest on the show, somebody you think would be a cool guest, somebody that the listeners would love to listen to, I would like to hear that suggestion. Send me an email at phil@underthecrossbones.com, and we'll make that happen. All right? And again, today's show notes, all at underthecrossbones.com/189. And that's it, kids. I'll see you next week.